everybody. Welcome back to the Duel Screens podcast. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana. Over there is Andy Asimakis, and this is the internet's #1 indie developer interview podcast hosted by people you've never heard of, probably. The show posts each and every week on your listening podcast service. Yeah,
you always trip up at that part.
You know what it is, Andy?
We should.
I had a chiropractic adjustment right before we started this. And the cerebellum is firing on all cylinders. The mouth is moving. The words are coming out. The brain
Did you pay in brain cells? Was that what
the brain
happened?
is firing off on all
Cracking them
cylinders. But yeah, we're here. We're here. And of course, you can watch the show on youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. And Andy, how the hell are you, Andy? I'm excited.
It's a good day. You know why it's a good day? Because I came across Ninja Turtle bandages at work today, and I'm rocking a Donatello over a Raphael. I am so happy.
Wow, you're doubling up.
This is on my It's like I want to cut myself more. Just to put more on. That's how much I.
Please don't.
That's horrible.
He likes to chop the tips of his fingers
more
off.
injuries.
Yeah. You're just well, don't worry. We'll find out about your guys' injuries later on. But joining us this week are Alex McCord, Nicole, Gabriel of Third Pie Studios, developers of Age of Cataria, I love this friggin' game. A village story generation game where you manage your resources, design a beautiful village, and watch your villagers age over real world weeks. Now, if you're a cat owner, you understand what that feels like. Just gonna put it that way.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Hello.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having us.
This is exciting stuff. I'm excited to have you. We wanted to do this a little earlier. Unfortunately, a lot of weird stuff was going on, so we had to postpone. But now we're here. We're at the day. This is going up on day final, the 11th hour. Very exciting. Yeah. Tell our listeners real quickly what is this game? What is Ages of Cataria? And then go into your whole Kickstarter situation. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, your description is one that we've been working on for a long time, and it's pretty succinct. So it's a village story generation game where you get to watch your villagers grow up, age up, have their story and their history. They'll go out on adventures, and that adventure might be just a very small one where they get to just meet some weird creature, or they might go on something super grand, go through a dungeon and get hurt, and they have now this scar on their face, or some sort of big moment happens in that dungeon, and that's always part of their history. And so really we want to create that kind of feel, this character has a history, and then they have a kid, and then that kid grows up, and then that original character will pass away, go into this town's spirit tree, and now you have their next generation growing up. And we really want to create that flow and that real connection to your town. It's a whole town story. It's not just an individual. And something we had an issue with town builder games was someone would go out and chop wood, and you'd just be like, that's a no-name person who all they do is chop wood, and that's all they're good for. And we really wanted to have someone who chops wood and has a story. So that's really the inspiration behind Ages of Cataria.
I mean, that's awesome. I didn't mean to cut you off, Andy, but one of the things. So I was playing this game, New World. It's Amazon. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're a small studio, Amazon Game Studios.
Mm-hmm.
They're really tiny. But they had this game, New World, and they have a lot of jobs, a lot of crafting and stuff like that. And one of the things I said was can I just be the fisherman? Can I just go out and just fish for the group and just let you guys and just give you all the fish? And I mean, yeah, you can, but it's kind of boring. And that's what it wound up being. It wound up being really boring because you can't do the other shit in the game. But that was my story, right? My story was I was the crazy fisherman, and then I eventually became the crazy lumberjack. But that was kind of what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do any of the adventuring PvP stuff. It was boring to me. So I'm happy you said that, because I am one of these nameless, faceless villagers, if I ever could be one. Andy, go ahead, buddy. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Yeah, no. It's just more thought on the whole watching generations grow up over time. You know that we're men with jobs, right? I don't know. It's I can't. Another time suck game that looks this good. Oh God, thank you, but God damn you.
You're welcome.
One of the things that I don't know if you did this on purpose. I was reading the word purchase on Steam. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. So I don't know if you did this on purpose, but if you're a cat person, okay, and I understand I'm going in the weeds here, but just bear with me. There's something about taking care of a colony of cats in your backyard, which we unfortunately here in Brooklyn have all the time. There's always a new colony. When I was reading the description, before I knew what this game was, I'm like, oh, so you're like, it's a colony of cats because they grow up so fast. They go out on adventures. They come back bloodied. You're like, what the hell happened? You trap them, you neuter them, and somehow there's another colony, and then another generation. Like, here's the mom, here's great grandma.
I don't think you're neutering right.
If you feed one colony, a new colony tries to take over and fight for the food. So, like, it just for whatever reason, that is where I came to in my dumb idiot brain with the whole Cataria thing. But now it makes even more sense to me because I'm chief dumb idiot. And I have, I spell chief wrong on purpose on the shirt. So, here we are.
Don't worry. Awesome. I knew exactly where you were going when you first started this because we've gotten so many comments. They're like, where are the cats for your game? For your game called Cataria.
If you swap out some cat ears on these things, you have a cat colony simulator. Like,
I know. We have our artists hard at work. That's like the next thing they're going to do is so we can throw it out there. But it was really inspiration from Settlers of Catan, and because like we really have like resources that you're trading with other villages, and I kind of wanted a name that kind of like reminded people slightly of that. I never thought about Catan and thought about cats, and now I realize our mistake. So this is.
It is what it is.
We've had a lot of comments about that. We tell people there are cats in the game. We also didn't know when we chose the name Cataria that it's actually the scientific name for catnip. So there are a lot of cat associations.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
I know.
Related to the mint family, in case you didn't know. Catnip, yes, the mint family. So talk to us about the Kickstarter because we are literally at the 11th hour here. Like this is
39 hours to go from this recording with 90K raised, blowing it out of the water. What's going through the minds of people right now?
Yeah, I mean, do you want us to start from like the first cell of a thought that we had with the Kickstarter?
Let's start
there.
Okay, sure, yeah, let's start.
Okay,
it
was, when I was 12 years old. No, I'm just kidding. It was about after COVID hit. Me and Nicole, we lost our jobs, and I was like, I got my degree in creative writing, and I write about gutters. I'm glad I lost that job. So I want to start building up my portfolio so I can go into game writing or movie writing. And so I started writing some sort of text adventure stories that I could put on my portfolio. I already finished one, and then I already had this bigger idea for a game, but I knew I needed help. So I was like, Nicole, do you want to like work on this project with me? You can like kind of manage the time schedule, and we'll get like a programmer, or no, it was an artist that can come in and help us. And then the vision grew, and we're like, okay, we need a programmer to create this. And the vision grew, and it was just going to be text with art at first. And then it grew into, it's just going to be this top-down view, kind of like how you have like StarCraft or Warcraft. And then we're like, well, we want to get in there with the villagers. Okay, and then it grew more and more, and then we were like, okay, we need to do a Kickstarter because we need to pay people, because it was all volunteer, and a lot of people we brought onto the team, actually everybody, we're all working for free on this project for a year and a half now. And we were like, we'll launch the Kickstarter 4 months after everything, and this was back in like last year in January, and it didn't work out that we launched the Kickstarter on that time. And so we just kept pushing it back, and then we realized in July when we were going to do it that we weren't ready. We just needed to do more studying, more research. Like the game looked totally not ready for it, and we wanted to redesign some things. We have some old concept art for it too. Like it wasn't ready. So we made the hard decision of delaying it by 6 months. Told the team, like, are you okay with working for free for another 6 months? They said yes, and then we went for it. And we were so nervous. We were like, oh my God, what if we don't know if it's going to work? And then we launched it. We did launch day. We did a whole live stream for 12 hours, ate pizza, and just watched it go up until it hit our stretch goal of 10,000. And we hit 13,000 the first day. And like I said earlier, I thought it was going to stop there. Like, or what if it did stop there? And it did not. And here we are at 91, maybe. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Was the goal just to pay people off? Was that where that dollar figure came from?
The 10,000? Yeah, it was kind of like to pay people for what they've done, and a little bit going forward. It was very like it's all like a passion project for everybody on the team, something they can put on their portfolio if it doesn't work out, or it's something that could be big for all of us to go forward and continue on. And so now it's big enough that we can go forward and continue on it together. And the next step is really, we're working on prototype and then publisher potentially.
Yeah.
I got 10K laying around, so give me all these emails.
All right.
And I'm gonna fund something like it'll expand your portfolio. I promise.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were surprised that we did a lot of We did a lot of interviews with people who were like, wait, you're not paying? And they're like, what's wrong with you? And we're like, we're just, just a passion project. If you want to build your portfolio, we can do it together. Like, we're not trying to offend anybody.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because like we're doing it too, I promise.
Yeah.
Exactly. And these are not like our friends, just to be honest. They're our friends now because of how much we've been through together. But these are just people, like, we put a job posting out and people from like all over the country and all over the world responded to it and said, yes, I actually would like to do this crazy, ridiculous thing with you.
Wow.
And somehow they stayed on with us for that long. I want to say, too, about the $10,000 that one of the reasons that we posted the Kickstarter under that goal amount was because all of the feedback that we were getting from everyone was, you need to have a goal that you can achieve, that you actually know that you can do. We actually, at the time that we set it 10,000, we thought that was a stretch. We were like, I think we'll make $2,000. We really had no idea what to think. Alex and I, something that he didn't share was that we, not only do we have no game experience in our resumes, we also have no experience like building a game whatsoever. Like, he's a writer, I'm an actor. Like, we have no reason to be in this industry whatsoever. And we also have no entrepreneurial experience outside of this.
We do now.
Make it look so damn easy.
So everything that we have ever done is based on all of the research we've done, all of like finding all of these mentors and people who could counsel us and getting all of this feedback. We had no idea that like 10,000 was even achievable with the like size of our community that we had at the time. And to be where we're at right now with 91K raised was not something we thought was possible the day before the Kickstarter.
Do you even know how you would even make $91,000 like do things like hey, we know how to make 2,000 happen. We could give, are you just gonna like, I don't even know. So one of the things this is ADD brain. One of the things that you said there, I was like, it's classic rookie mistake. It's the classic rookie thing of exposure, that whole thing, but also like say, yeah, let's just do a Kickstarter, and then getting to that point and you're like, oh, you need stuff to do a Kickstarter. Like you need a thing. It was like us when we launched our Patreon. We're like, we don't have anything to show anybody. We don't have an art. We don't have nobody even knows what we look like, because at that point we were only doing audio. It's like, what are we doing? We did it anyway. And we were like, all right, whatever, I guess. After friends and family dropped off, it was like, okay, well, this is what we're doing. But like, it looks like you kind of hit the ground running. You have this ball now, and I guess, hey, you're game developers now, huh?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's the classic fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah.
And, so now it's happening.
Imposter syndrome is real.
Right.
Yes. There have been so many moments at which we like, oh, it's real now. Like, oh, now we're game developers. Like, oh, like we actually have something that works a little bit. Like, you can click on a guy and make him go over there. Like now it's real, but we still don't even have something playable, which was another thing where we're like, a week before the Kickstarter, should we delay it? Should we delay it again, like a fourth, fifth time, because we don't have anything playable? How are people gonna want this game if they don't even know what it feels like to play? But we just have the most amazing community ever, that have come together over this thing, that they like how it looks, they like the idea of it. We're really, really grateful for all those people.
Yeah.
What?
Go ahead, Andy.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I was just trying to talk so that I could drown out the kids behind me. My kids.
I was gonna say, like, fake it till you make it. I've been watching the Dropout series on Hulu all week long.
Oh yeah.
This is like, oh, there's no prototype of our game yet. It's not really working. It's all an idea, guys. But give us your money. Give us all of your hard-earned cash.
Right.
We have people. They're doing something. Like something is happening. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the things that like you learn after we've interviewed 200. What is this? This is our 266th interview, I think.
Yeah,
Something like
probably.
that. And one of the things we learned is like the classic thing is piling on top and making something, the vision growing, and then all of a sudden it's like a snowball and you can't catch up to it. It's just this giant project that you're like, we can't do it. We've seen games raise, honestly, probably 3 times what you guys have raised and never come out because the scope just went gigantic. How are you, with no experience understanding that, no understanding of like how to produce a video game? Because that's really what it comes down to. It's production. It's like a production manager is who really keeps that stuff in mind. And a seasoned production manager will tell you, you can't put that in this game. Enough is enough. This is your scope. Hit your milestones. This is what you can do. This is what you should focus on. How are you learning that on the fly? And how are you communicating that effectively with essentially a crew of, for lack of a better term, novices?
Yeah, excellent question. And one thing I'll say too about our crew of novices, love them, shout out to all of them.
Shout out to the novice team. Let's go.
Is that each of them is far more experienced than Alex and I. So they also counsel us in their specific area, right? Our game designer might say, oh, game design wise, that doesn't really make sense. Or he might be concerned about the programming, but our programmer might say, oh, that's actually really easy, right? It's all about looking to the people in their specific area and figuring out what, picking the pieces up of the vision to come up with something that collectively makes sense. Sure. And short answer to your question of how do we do it is mistakes. We make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
and we embrace them. Like, yes, there are a ton of games that unfortunately didn't make it for one reason or another. And one of the things that is really great about us is that we have made countless mistakes already and nothing has stopped us. I believe we're indomitable, and it's just because we're so committed to the vision that no matter what, we're gonna have it happen.
And a more technical thing too is on our stretch goals, we made sure the first 5 or 6 were things that were would not take too long to add in. We never wanted to bite off more we can chew. Yes. In there we have, if anyone's watching this who is really excited, we have another ancestry that you can be instead of humans and elves. There's another one, I won't say what it is, but it's in there. And that would take a huge amount of effort. But it is up in the, I would say probably 300 range, which we did not achieve or yet.
There's
a lot could happen, and
this interview could really push over the edge.
Right.
This
I've seen games do 100 in one day, on their last day. So who knows what happened? But we definitely wanted to be keep that scale in mind, and inevitably, like Nicole was saying, we've made mistakes. We'll make more mistakes. But I think what I've experienced from the communities is they're a lot more patient with indie games. They're the first iteration, the early release, not so great, but we're excited for the next launch. So you can improve here. But if you're a AAA title and you have that bad first release, they will tear you apart.
Yeah, if you're a well-known game creator that's going independent, so it's still technically an independent game, and people throw $1 million at you, they're expecting they're expecting a game that costs $140 million to make, basically.
Exactly.
Not really understanding that $1 million is literally nothing if you're making a game of that scale. It's nothing.
Yeah, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your game was born from scope creep, so fuck it. Throw in like 10 ancestries while you're at it. Just go for it. Go nuts.
Yeah, the scope was something that we have even narrowed it down a lot from what it used to be. If you've seen some of our older trailers or you're following the game for the last like 8 months or something like that, we used to have combat in the game. We used to have like raiding. That was an entire section that we just had to abandon. There's so many things that we're like constantly focusing on narrowing.
Yeah, and we've gotten to an area that's like really feels a lot more manageable, like Nicole was saying, and it fits for the game. Like raiding and attacking your neighbor's village, not really the kind of crowd we're going for typically. We're going for more of like the cozy vibe now, and it really fits our game so much more. And we don't want the Clash of Clans vibe, really.
No, I mean one of the greatest games in this sort of genre, I guess. I don't know if it's adjacent, is obviously what do you call it there, Stardew. And when they added the whole multiplayer thing where you could hang out with your friends and just do shit, like let's just farm stuff, dude. Yeah, let's get it. You want to come live on my farm? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I want to live on your farm. It's like, got any more of that Stardew? Like, that's way better than, you know, I'm gonna burn your village to the ground crowd. Like, it's just such a different vibe, and I think with that non-competitive gamer, like the cooperative, Andy and I are always cooperative. Like, we truly love co-op games. Yes, I have a little bit of saltiness in me where I get those jollies off in other genre, but like I had sometimes it's the gamer dude in me. What can I tell you? I have to shoot things.
This hurts you more than
I have to teabag somebody at least once a week, and it has to happen. And usually it's a friend. But where the hell was I going with this? Right. So I think that has a lot to do with the positivity of your community as well, because you're automatically setting the expectation for, we were going to do this together. This type of game is like, it's not that. It's not attacking, who could be the best. It's who could have fun the most. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, me. I'm going to have fun the most. No, you. No, me. Andy, you know me. I'm going to have the most fun.
I know you. I know you too well. What are your respective roles? What do you each bring to the table when it comes to this game? With no real experience in game dev, I feel like, what's it like to give people who know what they're doing orders?
Did you have to Google it?
A series of YouTube videos you watched.
Yeah, great question.
YouTube University, one of the top
top
things we've utilized.
I actually got a degree.
Everyone on our team uses that. Yeah.
For me is CEO, creative director. So I really have my hands in everything. I'm also the head writer for right now. We do want to bring another writer on to support me because I'm taking on a lot of other things too at the same time. But yeah, creative director. Really wearing every hat. Before we had a programmer, I was programming the game, making it function, and I just give the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Like, let's go forward with that. Let's not go forward with that. Great.
It is really interesting. Sort of like being in charge of these people who actually know what they're doing more than we do. Like, knowing nothing about 3D modeling and telling this person like, oh, that should take this amount of time or whatever it is. I'm the producer on a team and COO. And like Alex said, we really do a little bit of everything just because that's entrepreneur life. But we are very lucky to have a team of people who know where we're coming from. We have really created a space of openness and like clear communication, where they know where we're coming from. And so most of the time it's just a matter of like, we know the basic bits and pieces of what we need. Sure. And when it comes to, the specifics of your role, it just looks like me asking questions of like, oh, how long is that going to take you? or like what kind of software do you need for that? Do you need this other person to come in on that, or they'll let me know what they need. So it's really like a co-leadership environment, which is what we're really up to, because that's one of the big reasons that we started the company in the first place, is because yes, we lost our jobs, and we didn't just like want to create this project because we thought it was really cool. That was part of it. And part of it was we want to create a career for ourselves. We want to create a space for ourselves and other people to be able to grow and like upgrade themselves. So in addition to us learning this industry, it's also a lot about empowering the people on our team to like next level themselves and like you could be the next leader in your area at like an Epic or something like that. So it's actually been really beneficial to like creating a learning environment where everyone can level up themselves.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
I love
you know,
that.
a lot of people discovered themselves and what truly matters to them during COVID. And you know, happiness is a big one. Happiness and being able to have control of your own destiny and not be told, no, risk your life, come in here. And, you know, risk your life for some stupid shit like packing a bag for somebody or, you know, whatever. Like a lot of people just decided enough is enough. Like I'm a smart person. I'm kind. I could talk to people. Like there's got to be something else out here in the universe. And it gave us like that slowdown of like, no, this is your turn. Now is your chance to like do something that you're really passionate about and see if it works. There's no huge pressure right now because the entire world has kind of slowed down to a screeching halt. And you're not alone. Like I'm sure you know from the community that you've, you know, swung in like Tarzan. Like you know that there's a ton of first time developers out there putting games out now. Like either starting small or with a larger scope using Kickstarter or just, you know, even some on Patreon and stuff like that. Like it's kind of where we are now, right? Like it's just what we're doing.
Yeah, and something when we lost our jobs, we realized like we bet, you know, there's college kids like graduating right now who can't go into a job because of the situation, but they're looking for work, and that's the crowd we reached out to, and that was the crowd that was open to working for free. At first it was like 3 or 6 months, ended up being like a year and a half, but really like we supported them in leveling up. We watched them grow. One of them went off and is working at Disney now, and like they're like one of the youngest people to work at Disney. So we've had like here's the thing, programmers, they're so sought after in the industry, so we've gone through a lot of programmers. And we can't compete with pay $0 compared to programming pay. So yeah, we lose them pretty frequently, but like it's really awesome that like we created that environment for them where they can grow here and use us as a reference and like on their portfolio and go on to the next level. But now we've actually also created it here for everyone who's around, so it's awesome.
Yeah.
They're gonna invoice you one day when this gets big and huge. Like, oh, was this in the mail? What?
Right.
Like all these billable hours over the past year and a half.
You're right. No, that's the thing. It's like high risk, like high reward when it comes to creating like your first indie game. So
yeah, I think being part of the process matters more than the actual monetary aspect of it. What surprised you the most about making a game? Like I'm sure you have an idea of what goes into making a game at some level, but
you sure about that, Andy? Because I don't think it does.
No,
it looks like it was a surprise left hook.
Listen, I think it was he had an inkling about certain things, but as you were recruiting people and building this passion project, what really jumped out at you? Like, oh wow, this is a thing I gotta consider or worry about.
It would probably go back to people being willing to work for free. I thought it was like 2 months tops, and then they'll stop. And when we had to ask them to go like extend it if they wanted to, I thought they were all going to quit, and they didn't. So that was one of the biggest shocks to me. Yeah.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
That they would be willing to, or
why did they stick around? Why did so many stick around? Pat, like why?
What was your sales pitch? You should monetize your sales pitch.
Oh man, I gotta remember. I think it really boils down to it really is a passion for everybody. Like they put their own flavor on it. Like even though like I am the creative director and I keep the vision of the game going forward, and I have, you know, the biggest say in the direction. I want to hear from everybody on the team, and everybody's put their input on the game. Even our animator and our programmer, they're like, what if the characters could do this? And I'm like, I love that. And so I feel like everyone has their own part of the game in it, or part of themselves in the game.
Right. Yeah.
And so yeah, it's really a passion project for them too, and we want them to feel like as the company is successful, that they will be successful too. So.
Yeah, and I think the reason people say yes initially is that opportunity to grow themselves, right? Like it's kind of low stakes in the beginning. If you're looking for experience working on a game to put on your resume, we have a company registration. You can say that you worked on this game and put it on your resume. And I think that the reason people stay, even when they could get other jobs at this point, is mostly because the vision of the game and the love of the team. Like our team that we have, we are really so close. I know that like it sounds really corporate to be like, oh, we're a family. Like at Third Pie Studios, we're a family. But it really feels like that. We have seen each other. We've seen our egos come up. We've cried together. Like we've had like really bonding moments with everyone on the team. And because we're so connected and it's such an open environment, I think that's one of the reasons people keep saying yes.
I think another reason, and I think you're selling yourself a little short too here. I think your Kickstarter is an indication that I think the people that are working on this game with you believe it can succeed.
Yeah.
And being a part of something that succeeds is it does feed that ego, and ego in a good way, not the evil ego, the good ego that we all need to keep satiated at some point. But also, like, what if this is a huge step for your company, and these people that stuck around are now a larger part of that huge step for your company? And I think that's important. There are people that do volunteer, I guess, their services for dual screens. We have a very hardcore group of people. Our friend that created all of our web content, does all of our web design and everything like that. He does it for nothing. He does it because he's building a portfolio, but he also does it because he loves the product. He loves what we do. And I think that's something you guys have to take away from this, is that it's not just that they get to throw something on a resume. I think that it is so obvious that your passion doesn't only just come across in how you celebrate this game in public, but also it clearly has the magic sauce. Like there's clearly that magic sauce is there. And if I were a publisher and I actually, got to play the game, like if it was at that point, like you can't say no to this game.
Right.
You can't say no to this
You
game.
can't say no, Devolver Digital. You can't say no.
It's in that perfect genre.
Nintendo.
Yeah, right. Nintendo of America, hear me.
Come on, Reggie. You just stopped being a GameStop board
right?
director.
Yeah, well, he did. Yeah,
shit.
he's done. He's gone.
Yeah.
I think that you need to pat yourselves on the back for that, because you didn't just cobble together some nonsense that people could throw on a resume. Like you created something that actually means something, and that a lot of people are noticing now. And I do feel like you're gonna do a lot in your last day on Kickstarter. Like I just have a feeling it's one of those games that people bookmark and be like, I don't know, and then they're just like, yes, I said yes, damn it.
We're very excited for that. And yeah, it really took a lot of I think everyone, like you were saying, believing in the project and like where it could go. And now it's, they say that thing where it's like you have a doubt, like 4 doubts a minute or something. So I was confident, and then the next moment, oh God, what if it never succeeds? And now we have like proof that people responded to it. Like they like what they see, and it's opened up a lot of other doors of meeting with publishers. Like they see that people like it. Like publishers were meeting with us before, and now they're like, a little more how do I say, like
enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Yeah,
They're like, hey,
more,
and so it's really awesome, like what we have created. And it's hard to let it in sometimes, because we're just working like 10 hours a day now, just like responding to messages, like what's the next thing we need to put out, did you post to Twitter, but it's
The
really
answer's
like,
always no. We always forget about that shit.
right.
Andy and I,
that.
that's why we have people that like we we have friends now that are like involved, and it's impossible. There's so much shit going on in just your normal life that this thing that kind of takes over and snowballs, and this is like a side thing for both Andy and I. Like it's not our main thing. I can't imagine if it was like, oh Jesus, Lord God, baby Jesus, help us all.
Listen, I could get fired really easily if I wanted to. So
You're right.
You should have gotten fired.
This could be a full-time thing. It could be my full-time thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we lost our. We had 2 people supporting us with marketing for a couple months, and they left in December. And we were like, oh my god, we were actually going to launch the Kickstarter in January at that time, and then we actually delayed it another month to February. And we were like, okay, well, it's just us, me and you, Nicole, and someone else on our team stepped up too to support us with marketing. But we've been wearing the marketing hat. I own Twitter, you own Instagram, and the other person owns TikTok. Oh, you do TikToks, like half of it?
I make the TikToks.
Okay.
And our other person on our team handles like the communication, making sure that
the hashtags and shit. Yeah.
Right.
The language.
And so it's really funny because we were just like, at first we were trying so hard to go like viral, like, look at this, woo. And then we get like 10 likes. We're like, oh, record. And then the day before we launched our Kickstarter, me and Nicole were working like until 12 o'clock, and you posted a TikTok and I posted a tweet. And the next morning we woke up, like my tweet had 1,000 likes and your TikTok had like 10,000 views or something, like, and so we just went viral the day before we launched our TikTok or our Kickstarter. yeah. I mean,
viral for us indies. Yeah, I get it.
Exactly.
What was the tweet? What was the TikTok? I'm curious now. What sparked it?
Yeah, great question.
They were both.
I think the content matters.
Yeah, they were both kind of the same thing. It was basically just announcing like, we're launching our Kickstarter tomorrow, and we had this new. We spent the 2 weeks before just like in this room with like pillows all around it, recording our trailer for the game, and we had a bunch of new shots that we've been shooting, like some new art for the game, and which we haven't shown it to anybody. And so we showed, I think on Twitter, I did this shot of where it's panning through the very first shot you see, where it's panning through all the levels. And that people just really responded to that. And then it was the TikTok trailer, which is the same thing, just in a different format.
Yeah, it's just like a shorter version of our full trailer on YouTube.
That's awesome.
You did very well.
You never know what's going to hit with that shit. You could, I mean, there are people that get college degrees now for this. Like straight up, not just marketing, like specifically like social media marketing. Like it's a thing now.
Yeah, I mean, if it all went south, I mean, I was like, I could just write Kickstarters now, because we spent months obviously on that Kickstarter. We would argue about certain words. We're like, no, we can't say immersive. Let's say something else. We said immersive like 5 times. So every sentence in that Kickstarter probably took like 4 hours or something.
Rewritten probably.
Thesaurus.com.
We'd do that. And so
literally.
Yeah, I feel like, I love other Kickstarters sometimes reach out to us and like ask for like some support around how to word stuff, and like we love supporting them. Like we don't want to keep like any secrets. I mean, it feels great just like that people actually want to reach out to us for like how to for any advice. So yeah, I definitely feel like I've learned. I don't know if I love that though. I kind of want to stay away from Kickstarter until maybe our next game.
Yeah,
it's stressful.
It is.
Yeah. I don't think there's been one guest who ever came on here with a Kickstarter that didn't just dread every second of it.
I like see number go up, but get like replying to the messages and like constantly putting out updates. Like, oh my god, we would like spend like half a day just trying to do one of those updates. And then I realized, what if we just made it really short? And then we realized people like short updates, and then we got more responses, and it takes like 30 minutes. So yeah, it's been a wild 30 days, just keeping track. Like, how do I say this? Something else about Kickstarter is like, it's kind of like the U shape when it comes to fundraising. Like it's like you do your most on your first day and like on the last 3 days. And we were like, we don't want to be a U shape. So we were just like, how do we make that? How do we change that? So we reached out a bunch of influencers the past 30 days, and we kind of created like this, like now like this U or this wave shape throughout our Kickstarter, where we had like boosts from these influencers, and that's been a lot of work too. And thank you to all the influencers as well for supporting us. And already some of them are going to launch some more videos for us tomorrow that we can reach out to. So it's just really, it takes a whole community, like other Kickstarters boosting us, cross promotion, the whole shebang, really.
So the last day bump is all us, just so you're aware.
Yeah.
Numbers.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's all us. So
we thank you.
You
We
know.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Hashtag
we really do
Ghost
appreciate it. And like Alex said, I'm sure there are other indie devs out there who listen to your podcast. We are more than happy to help you, boost you, answer questions. Like, we don't know everything, but we've learned a lot from making mistakes, and we would love to support other people in not making those mistakes or whatever it is. We really believe that when one of us wins, we all win. So
Sure.
there's no secrets for us. We want everyone to win.
And it's not so easy for video games on Kickstarter. It's really a board game town. Like, we'll be like, I think number 2 or number 1 on video games, which feels great. But when you just hit games, we're like number 40.
Yeah.
Because there's all the board games.
Still 40 on Kickstarter.
I know. There's 16,000 projects on there.
Exactly.
I am
So-
very grateful. Like, me and Nicole, like, we were talking the other day, but we were trying to get to like 80K to hit our Switch goal, because we know people were just waiting for us to hit that Switch goal to donate or pledge. And
Which we did hit, by the way.
yes,
Oh yeah,
for
you
everyone.
did.
Get the game on Switch.
Yeah, and then we just got a huge influx when we hit it. But we were talking about we were trying to hit 80K, and it kind of hit us. We were like, wow, we're at 80K. Like, we were just like stressed out over this, and I was like, let's just take a moment to appreciate where we're at, and then we can go back to being stressed and get what we need to get done. But like, it's wild to think about. Like, no matter what, like, if it's great and it feels great to like reach this point. But I still feel like I haven't fully let it in, no matter what.
What is the roadmap now? Once the campaign's over, you'll count your money, buy a few yachts, as one does.
I don't think that's
What?
No.
It's really going forward and creating a vertical slice, which is just basically a very pretty version of our prototype, and just making like courting publishers and just going forward from that point, with or without a publisher, we'll have it happen. We really think a publisher will have us like bring the game to the next level and really secure like localization is a big thing, and just marketing, that because we want to take the marketing hat off permanently. That is something we do not want that. And so that's really vertical slice, publisher, and just making the game, whether it be with publisher or not.
Yeah. And we are going to continue working on the vertical slice, Alex said. I'm hearing myself. But the very, very next step is we're actually going to take the campaign to Indiegogo and continue to give people an opportunity to get the game at a discount, create a little bit more funding for ourselves, that kind of thing. So that is coming later this week or at the beginning of next week.
Yeah, Indiegogo has the Indiegogo In Demand, where it's just every project that's already successfully funded goes there, and people can continue buying it for about 30 days after, because we really want to hit some more of those stretch goals afterwards.
Sure.
We aren't sure where that will land though.
All right.
But...
Well, everybody has to cheat a little bit to win. It's okay.
Right.
It's called leveling up, Steven.
Yeah. Kickstarter exclusive, and now it's Indiegogo exclusive as well. So
Indeed. Well, it is now time. You've made mistakes before. You said it. Nicole, you've said many mistakes were made, but no mistake is greater than getting to this point of the show, which is, of course, is rapid fire.
Okay.
Now we're going to get to know you. This is where the layers of the onion get peeled. Isn't that right, Andy?
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna get, the tears will flow.
The tears
I probably will cry.
Yeah, I mean,
Usually Steven or I crying, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
So I'm going to start us off with one of my favorite questions when we have two guests. Okay. I'm going to start with Alex. Alex, you are just asleep, super asleep, all snoozing, phone rings. And you're like, oh shit, what is this?
Yeah.
You answer the phone, right? It's like, hello, this is Detective Rifkin of the police department. Well, Nicole has been locked up. What is her crime?
What is her crime?
What is her crime?
What has she done?
What has she done?
She doesn't leave the house, so it had to. Oh, I know what it is. You left the stove on. That's what she. That's her crime. She burnt the whole house down in the neighborhood.
You just slept through it.
Apparently,
you slept through the arson.
I
took the whole block down.
I'm sleeping in someone else's house because I don't feel safe sleeping here because she sleeps with the oven on.
Yeah.
That would be her crime.
Okay, Nicole, picture yourself. You're all snuggled. You got your body pillow like you like it. You got your incense, or your diffuser, whatever you call that. There, it's got that apple cinnamon scent. You are good. All of a sudden, you know how the phone rings. You pick it up. Boom, Detective Rithkin. He's here again. This time, Alex has gone down. He's in the slammer. What is Alex's crime?
Alex is so nice.
Nice people go to jail. All right.
Nice people go to jail. Honestly, if Alex was in jail, it's probably a mistake. It's fine. Someone else saw him like eating boogers in public, and they were like, "This is indecent. He needs to go away."
I'm glad you believe in me so much.
That's good for your immune system, all right?
Yeah, right. You gotta clear it out, right?
Yeah, you gotta clean house once in a while.
At least he's not littering.
All right. Well, Steven made you both think of a crime. I'm going to give you an actual crime.
Oh.
Nicole, Alex has done something that may have killed someone.
Oh.
Now, it could be like a manslaughter, crime of passion, or like a
crime of passion. Yeah.
Did last summer accident thing. But there's a corpse.
Fire.
There's a corpse somewhere, right?
Oh my God.
And he tells you, are you we got to call the police? Or let me get a shovel.
I'm sorry. I feel like these answers are going to be so lame. I would call the police.
What?
I feel like this guy, you have no idea. He's so pure. Like, there's no way he killed someone intentionally. Like, get the cops involved. Like, they'll know how to handle this.
Now I'm in jail. Now I know why.
Yeah, but like, even with his big cow eyes, like, Nicole, please, help me bury the body.
Even if he did it for real,
I'm too pure for jail.
They would let him off easy because
You just don't buy it.
So cute. No, they
I'm
would
so
let him off.
cute. What kind of cop?
Yeah.
Cop? Wow, you're
You'd be
cute.
like, I'm sorry. They'd be like, we believe
like,
you.
Detective Rithkin, he's got a heart of gold. That guy.
He's got his work cut out for him, man.
Yeah,
All right.
He's got a soft spot for long, silky hair. All right, let's get this a little easier now. Would you rather have the power of flight or invisibility? Nicole, you can answer first.
Flight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Flight for me. Did you have a reason?
Flying is cool. I feel like invisibility is for perverts.
I was gonna say the same thing. I feel like it's.
What is that? I don't understand.
You're watching. You want to look at people.
You want to
Why
watch
do you wanna
people
be
or you want to steal something? That's
Why am I
Exactly.
watching
Or,
people?
like, you want to sneak into the museum without paying admission? Is
Yeah,
that what it is?
yeah.
Like,
Aren't
Uncultured
museums free
swine.
anyway? It's a recommended
you're
price.
right. Right. Yeah, flight. I want to fly. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Also, how high can I fly? I want to go to
Fast?
space.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have bodily limitations, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you could wear a sweater. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
yeah.
Alex, would you rather fight 100 horse-sized ducks?
Oh my God, we had this question.
No, one horse-sized duck.
Yes, one horse-sized duck.
Let's not get...
That's a lot of horse-sized ducks.
Yeah, I was
One
like,
horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses.
Ooh, probably I would choose the duck.
Oh my God.
The way,
told you.
that-
I told you that's
Let's
what it
ask your
was.
man.
It's Detective Rithkin.
Yeah.
I just feel like if it's one-on-one, I have a chance of some kind. I can run, but like if I'm surrounded by, I don't even know if I can take 100 ducks, just normal ducks. So
I feel like there's no chance in hell you're fighting a horse-sized anything.
yeah, I can't really think of what animal I could take that's horse-sized. No, hand to hand. I don't know.
A battle of the wits, maybe.
Well,
Maybe.
I don't know. Horses are pretty smart.
Like if you're playing chess with a horse-sized duck,
Yeah, right.
what would your first move be?
Nicole, I have a similar question for you. How many first graders can you fight until they overrun you?
Oh my God. Infinite.
An infinite amount of first graders. We are peeling the layer. I love this.
Alex,
first
Nicole
graders
has
are
killed a bunch of first graders. Do you help her grade the bodies?
Yeah.
Just an infinite amount. They're just so dumb.
Yeah, well, if it's
They're just so
infinite, I don't
dumb.
know if we have it.
Would you help me bury them or would you call the cops?
I said, yeah, I would help you.
Oh, you would help
Yeah,
me.
Help
That's
you know,
nice.
get 'em
Wait,
out
are
of
you
here.
gonna help her fight?
I don't know, I'm just very
Tag team in this like Step
I already know
Brothers?
my limit is 5. I'm like I'm a counselor at like a rock climbing gym, and it's a bunch of first graders.
Oh,
If any of those parents are listening, I promise your kids are safe and it's okay.
I will not fight them, but also
Yes.
I could take at least 5 of them.
Yeah, going down.
Nicole, if any song of your choosing would play when you entered a room, what song would that be?
It's the final countdown.
That's a
Just
hype
sounds
song.
really dramatic.
That's the
and
hype
cool.
song, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Alex, what color Power Ranger are you and why?
Green, because he's
He
the
has
most
this one in the bag.
complex and
Mhm,
deep character. All the other ones
He
are
is.
just too pure good. I know Nicole's been saying I'm pure, but Green has like the dark inner world that he gets to let go of
Right.
eventually. Eventually, he becomes a White Ranger. So
Right. Like it.
Yeah, and plus, he's a solo guy. He's no like,
Yeah.
am I the head? Am I the arm? Am I like that? I
Right.
have my own thing. I got my dragons, or I'm totally
Right.
fine.
I got
Yeah,
my
and he had the-
flute. We got this.
Yeah, he had the coolest mech, or whatever it was called, the Zoids. What are they called?
Zords.
See,
Zords. That's it.
Zoids is a whole awesome anime, though.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. Let's see. Nicole, do you see yourself as more of a cult member or a cult leader?
Leader.
Mm.
And that's how you get people to work for you for free.
Yeah.
I was
There it
gonna
is.
say earlier, I think the skills
got
that
the
Alex
charm.
and I bring is like an overview, but also our leadership skills and like
Cult-like.
experience and communication.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, we have rituals every Sunday. We can't disclose them right now, though.
I understand.
Proprietary information.
Yeah.
Nicole, you mentioned that you are an actress. You said that earlier. What's your dream role?
I think I'd like to play like a real person in a biopic. It just
okay.
feels like there's already a lot of source material,
Yeah.
right? Like, because it's based on a real person
Yeah.
and like the ability to take on their mannerisms and their voice, their posture, that kind of thing just sounds really fun to me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's
Cool question.
Oscar bait. You're looking for that Oscar. You're looking for that easy
Right.
Oscar. That's what you're doing.
Well, I've done a lot of classical theater, which is classically hated by most of the population.
It's
So
my
I
it's
think
my
I'd like to do
it's my
something
least
Classically
favorite thing to
hated.
do. It was my like I had to do it in college, and I got lucky because I did Shakespeare, and I actually did the most un-Shakespeare part in a Shakespeare.
Which is what?
I played Catherine in Henry V,
Okay.
which is just speaking French, which I didn't
Yes.
understand a thing I was saying, so it was great. It was so easy. But yeah, like I don't know why I'm answering this, but I just feel like actor to actor, like I want to have a part where my voice will be recognized by children.
Ooh.
Like
Okay.
when I was a kid, I did local theater shit, but when we did Charlie Brown, I was Snoopy, and I still get recognized by people who have their own children now, who say Snoopy in my neighborhood, and I'm like, that is creepy, but also
I love that.
Yeah.
so that has always been a dream of mine. Like I want that, but outside of Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Like give me
A
one more
global
borough.
scale.
Give me another borough at least.
Give me the
Like,
tri-state
that's-
area. Alex, what word best describes Nicole when she's drunk?
Ooh.
That's
Is it
really hard
that
to say.
sound? Is it the sound she just made?
Not
yeah,
everybody drinks,
Actually,
Andy.
really accurate.
doofus.
Listen.
Doofus.
She tries.
Yeah.
She like we'll both commit to like, okay, we're gonna get drunk today. We like
Yeah.
maybe I
We'll,
drink
try
like
to do it for the stream.
yeah, we'll do it like once a month. We'll drink, and we'll split the wine bottle, I'll just keep filling. I'm like, oh, there's more, and there's more because she doesn't drink any of it. She just will sip, and the only way she'll actually get drunk is if someone's reminding her to drink. So
I will get drunk on shots, and if something is delicious to drink, I will drink it. Yes, also if someone is forcing me, like there's a game involved or something like that.
You're definitely a
That's
margarita
easier.
girl. You like your margs. You like your frozen
Yeah.
margs. I get it.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm really more of just like a tequila shots. Like, let's do
Oh
3
man.
shots, get me there, and then I can stop drinking and have a good time.
yeah. So I'll drink 70% of the wine bottle, and then she'll just hand me her glass, and so
Yeah.
I'll just drink that, and then I'm just horrible next day. Like it's not like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
So
But when I am drunk, doofus is good.
yeah, you just stumble, fall, drops everything. So
Yeah.
classic.
Alex, what is best dinosaur?
Alex loves dinosaurs.
Probably Brontosaurus, just because of
That's a good
Littlefoot.
choice.
Yeah.
Littlefoot.
Yeah.
It's like,
He's
when I
been through
grew
some
up.
shit, that
Yeah,
little
right.
kid, man.
Like,
Wow.
I
Oh
just
my
grew up
God,
on
my
that.
heart.
Yeah, like
No one needed that reminder.
they just go. Yeah, like they're like the group. They're like the leader of all the vegetarian dinosaurs, right? So
They can reach the high places.
exactly.
They- They know where the good shit is.
Yeah, the good. It's at the top.
This is for both of you, and we have Nicole answer first. What is the dumbest way you've ever injured yourself?
God. I mean, forget about all the times that I've woken up with bruises and I have no idea how I got them.
Ghosts.
Tequila shots.
Well, that's not.
Yes. The only bone I've ever gotten close to breaking, I fractured my right ulna, and it was because I was in gym class and I was jogging backwards and I just fell on my hands and it fractured. That feels very wimpy to me.
I'd like to add one. You rolled out of bed and like dislocated your arm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you just were getting out of bed.
Yeah, I literally dislocated my shoulder. It was very painful.
Yeah,
But I just put it back in.
that's pretty cool.
Warrior.
That's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like Lethal Weapon stuff.
I know.
It was awful, but I had to keep breathing.
By the way, Lethal Weapon, not the way you put a shoulder back in place.
No, right? He just like,
Definitely not
slams
the
it in
way.
there.
You don't shoulder tackle over
We've been
a
lied to.
post. Like, that's
Right.
not what you do.
No, yeah.
Alex, what about you?
Oh, it's probably at the rock climbing gym. The most dangerous thing at the rock climbing gym is just the wall. It's like sandpaper. So I was like teaching people to rock climb, and I just point at the wall, and I just open up my knuckles by hitting the wall too hard, and it was horrible. I was like, I just like did this to myself. It was really embarrassing. That's probably one of the dumbest ways. I think everything else was everyone else's fault. So
Somehow the 5 first graders make sense now.
yeah, right. They got me.
All right, so I'm gonna do one more, and then Andy will take us home with the
Okay.
final question.
Oh boy.
Yes, indeed.
Boy.
Let's see. Do I want to go? Actually, Andy, I kind of want you to do the cake one.
Oh, the cake one?
I kind of want you to do
The
cake.
The cake one's a special question. I don't bust it out often. But
I
could do the
know,
cake
but
one.
I feel like this is a good group for the cake.
Yeah, I know. I
question.
think I like that. That should be like a litmus test. Like we
It
see how things
is.
go.
Like this could
They are cake worthy.
this is going to determine whether or not this show gets retweeted.
Okay.
Or like as a Kickstarter update, in the last
Right.
final hours.
Yeah. Maybe cut out the last 30 seconds.
Oh man, I feel like I kind of want to ask Alex the question first because it's more fun that way. given
Let
what the
them
question
debate.
Is.
Let them debate.
Yeah,
I'm
they can do-
curious
okay.
to know where
Okay.
if
Okay.
they could come
Alright.
to a consensus over the cake.
Right.
I have a question for you, Alex. What do you think the question is?
I have no idea. Is the cake a lie? Is that?
You wish the cake was a lie.
Trust me,
Um,
you're gonna wish the cake was a lie.
Would you rather eat a dick flavored cake or a cake flavored dick? This is the cake question.
This is the cake question. Welcome. You have been.
Welcome to Cake Question.
Thank you.
Um,
I'm immediately pondering it.
Yes.
Listen, it's a question. I mean, it's not necessarily a sexual thing. Andy, you're a
It
gay
isn't.
man. How would you answer
Yes.
this question?
I do love a good cake. So
You
having
see what
a
I'm saying?
cake that
Like,
tastes
calories
like
are
a dick
calories,
is like,
you know
it
what I
sounds like
mean?
a win-win. But I can't eat the dick, so it's like, but I want cake too. So you never know. Sometimes you never
I
know.
understand.
You really don't know where it's
You
going
would
to
think
go.
this would be cake or pie. It's not. It's not cake or pie.
Mhm.
You're getting frosting in
Because
the
the
way.
answer's
That's all that
obviously
matters.
pie.
But still,
That's awesome.
Is this dick flavored cake attached to a body?
I mean,
cake.
this
It's
is
not a
your.
dick.
This is
like
your. This is
so the dick that
Mm.
tastes like a cake is attached to a human being.
Yeah. Like, am I hurting somebody? Like, am I like ruining their
Oh,
life?
if you like, oh, this is delicious. Nom, 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 nom. You're like Kobayashi. This shit.
That's
Yeah.
the cake flavored dick, you mean?
It is a
No, cake
It is-
flavored dick is just a cake that tastes like a dick.
No.
No. That's the
It's
other one.
cake flavored.
it's a floating disembodied cock that tastes like a cake.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I would choose. Because at least it might be a delicious cake.
I'm not sure why it floats. It just
This is
tastes
why-
better somehow.
No, it's
just
magical.
fine.
That's how I'd want it to be.
It's a Kojima weapon or something.
that-
I don't know.
That is definitely what I would choose because cakes can taste delicious, and a cake that tastes like a dick could go really south. Like, I don't know what it's modeled after.
Like, why are we
whose
eating?
dick.
Why am I eating this? This is gross.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cake.
Yeah, like.
I mean, the thing that is great about cake is how it tastes.
Right.
And the thing that is great about dick is not how it tastes. Sorry
Right.
to all of
Wait,
the dick
hold, what?
havers.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine how anything in that region of any person tastes good under any
Right.
circumstance. So, like, whatever. If it tastes like cake, I don't know. Maybe I'm choosing. I'm just saying.
I would also choose cake flavored dick. Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
That sounds delicious.
And now, believe it or not, there's a more
Ugh.
difficult question for you to answer.
Yes,
This is the
yes.
final question.
Okay.
This is the
Been
most
through
important.
so
That one
much.
was actually pretty easy.
That I'm actually impressed. I'm honestly impressed. I had my reservations about breaking out the dick cake question, but I'm glad we did.
We eat questions
Usually
like
Andy
for
takes that
breakfast.
like out of left field, and I'm like, really? This is the guest you're gonna ask this
Yeah.
to? Okay, sure.
Listen.
Like Sister Mary Margaret, dick flavored cake, yes or no? Like, ooh.
I was meaning to ask before we started. Like, is it PG or is it R? Like, what are we going for?
we're
Okay.
explicit.
Okay,
We're
good.
all the
18+.
way. We are.
It's good to know.
we're-
Find that out later.
Yeah,
It's like
no,
the
we,
red band trailer is what our whole
Yeah,
podcast
this
is.
Okay, good.
yeah. Final question, most important question, probably the most difficult question, and every guest who's ever been on our show has answered this question.
Mhm.
There is an Excel spreadsheet somewhere that tracks the answers for this question. So you want your names
I
across
still gotta see this
from
spreadsheet.
the correct answer.
Okay.
No pressure.
Okay.
Done.
The question is simple. It's binary. There are two choices. You could choose one or the other. A baby could literally answer this. If you're like, hey, baby, this one or that one, baby can choose. Dog, easily. Cat, maybe not. A fish
Horse-sized
can.
duck always.
Always. The question is, Andy or Steve?
Aww.
Oh, that is a hard one.
That's so hard.
Shit. I'm okay.
This is tough. Does this make you guys uncomfortable? Like trying to
I don't
get,
know.
like,
I feel like it
paid?
makes you guys more uncomfortable. But there are two of you, so there's also that as well.
Here, how about
Stop
this?
fishing for
yeah,
a
let's
point.
each pick one.
Stop
Okay,
fishing
which
for
one
a
are you
point.
gonna
Let him
do?
choose.
I'll pick Steve.
You could use
There
a
you
win,
go.
Steven.
I get my wins. I rack my wins up.
I'll pick Steve.
All right.
All right. I'm also gonna pick Steve.
Yeah.
We had an agreement.
I know. I feel like even more of a dick now.
I know. We chose. We were like,
A dick that tastes like cake.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening and watching. You could follow us on social media. We're at dual_screens. We're also on TikTok at dual screens. I think just Dual Screens. Pretty sure that's what it is. Just look it up. You'll find it. It's Duel, Duel, if you're an audio listener and you haven't figured that part out yet. Duel like fighting. I am at Batchild27. Andy is at Pants Guy. And our Facebook group is facebook.com/groups/DS NDS Podcasts. Oh no, DS Podcasts. That's right. Sorry. And if you want to support us on Patreon, it is so easy. You could do it right now if you wanted to. You go to patreon.com/NDS Podcast. And we want to thank our Patreon producers, Colton the Apprentice Nestler and FNH Paul, because without all of your support, without their support, we can't do shit. Like nothing. We could do nothing. We're going to PAX East. It's all because of your Patreon support. Thank you so very much. And remember, you can support us for as little as $1. Get into our Discord, hang out. It's awesome. And if you do want to be a Patreon producer, we don't talk about Patreon producer enough, Andy. I don't think.
We should.
So Patreon producers, they don't get physical shit like a lot of places. Like, we're not just going to bombard you with like stuff. We tried that and we failed miserably because we're two dudes with jobs. So, but what we do for our Patreon producers is you're literally a producer. You hang out with us when we're making show decisions, branding decisions, anything to do with Dual Screens. We bring you on and we value your opinion. So if you want to be a part of something like that, and you like what we do and you want to be a bigger part of this space, that is one of the best ways you can do it. And it obviously helps us cover more games and go to more conventions and all that fun stuff. So we thank you so very much for giving us your support as always. Now, Alex, Nicole, I don't know which one of you is wearing the PR hat today, but let us know where everybody could follow you, follow the game, and all that fun stuff. We will have the links in the description, but, you know, for audio people who don't want to crash their car.
The best place to find us is at our link tree. It's www.linktr.ee/thirdpiestudios. Also, if you just Google Third Pie Studios or Ages of Cataria, you should find pretty much everything on us. agesofcataria.com, thirdpiestudios.com, that's our website. Google Ages of Cataria Kickstarter, that's our Kickstarter that we talked about earlier. It's live right now, but not for much longer.
Literally get there and do it now, right now.
Yeah, hurry.
Don't waste any time, right now.
We're also on Twitch, Ages of Cataria, pretty much Ages of Cataria everywhere. Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Discord,
TikTok.
Reddit, TikTok, even Pinterest. And we just made a Tumblr today.
A Tumblr? Do you also have a MySpace by any chance?
Yeah, we should.
That'll be next. We don't have Snapchat. I feel like some people want us on Snapchat.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of
we don't
photos
really
we'll
know
get.
That's a little sus.
Yeah.
The OnlyFans is next.
Yeah.
Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Nicole. And as always, thank you, listeners. And please, please, please be excellent to each other.